Hi guys, this is Kenny with Tri-Step Gutter Cover, here to show you guys how to install our system. We'll be starting with the first piece, by an end cap. So I'm starting off with either a right or a left end cap. The process is the same. The only thing that you have to do extra on the right is you need to trim off these two tabs here so that you have room to get your end cap on when we get to that point. Next thing you have to determine whether you have a 5 or 6 inch gutter. We're working with a 5-inch gutter now, so what that determines is which living edge we are going to trim down to. So we're going to cut back about 2 inches here and create a flange so that we can cover the back of the gutter here to stop birds, bees, everything else from getting in. Then we're going to take this, we're going to fold this all the way back because that's going inside the gutter. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to activate this living edge with a quick bend. What this allows it to do is match the pitch of your roof so that your shingles will not be kicking up once the gutter guard is installed. So once we're at this point, now we will slide the guard underneath the shingles, including your starter. If you go in between the shingle and the starter, they will seal to the shingle incorrectly and create a buckling effect. So once we get to here, I'm gonna make sure we have a little bit of a gap so we can get our end cap in. Now that we have the guard in place, we're going to secure it down using 4 zip screws, using every other slot on a full piece of guard. We just want to snug them down. We don't want to over tighten them. You need to allow the product to move with expansion and contraction as your temperature changes throughout the year. And with the length of these zip screws, you got a little wiggle room. So if you accidentally do screw it in a little too tight, just back it out a little bit so it's got a little bit of float to it. It's almost to the point where you can actually just slightly shift it with your hands. That's about how much you need. With a product like this, you got to be able to let it float a little bit and move. All right, now that we have that first piece installed and in position, while we're on the end cap, I'm going to show you guys how to put an end cap to close off the rest of the system. We use gutter apron, just color matching, because we have it on stock when we're out in the field. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece, we're going to slide it underneath the shingle and butt it up against the front of your guard. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mark here, right inside the end cap. And if we lift this up, we're gonna mark here to the top of the guard. What that does is it gets us our perfect length and our angle. As this moves up and down, your angle is gonna change. We're gonna take this, draw it straight back. There. Take this, and draw a line up. Now we're gonna cut this off to get our end cap length. Now that we have length, what we need to do is create a notch here in the flashing and cut this back so that it will clear the lip of the gutter and it'll clear the face of the gutter here so it's not hitting it. To do that, we're just gonna cut just a little bit off here. And we're gonna come back here. We're gonna cut pretty much straight up to it. So it looks something like this. Because then that will allow it to actually seat correctly in here and clear the lip and everything. The last step you gotta do is we gotta create a tab to secure it, and then we're gonna wanna trim the rest of this back so that we allow water to get in at the top for any water that's running down the edge of the shingle. So to do that, we're just gonna come in about 1/2 inch, cut up about halfway, flip this to the other side, cut this where you're leaving just a little bit of that 90, so it's got a little bit of rigidity to it. Fold this back, cut just a little angle in it so it looks like that from the top. Then we're going to be able to slide that in, and then using 2 screws we're going to secure it, one in the lip so that it will not come off because it's a sturdy screw. We're going to put one more here in the rib so it won't twist. So now we're going to secure it in the lip first to give it strength to hold in, and put that second screw in into the rib to hold it from twisting out. Now that we have our first piece installed, I'm going to show you how to continue on the length of the gutter, showing spacing and screw placement. All right, so now comes the easy and quick part. All we're gonna do, just like the first one, we're gonna activate that living edge. Slide it up under the shingles. And bring it over. Now what we're trying to do is leave just about an 1/8 inch gap. Now when you first start out, or till you get used to it, you can actually use a piece of the back, because that thickness is exactly the space that we're looking for. And after that, you secure it down with 4 screws, just like we did the first piece. Now that we've shown you how to do a straight run, I'm going to show you how to do an inside and outside corner, starting with the inside. All right, to show you guys how to do an inside corner, I'm going to use 2 partial pieces, just as an example. When you're actually on job site, it all depends on where you're going to come in from. If you're going to want to start from a corner, work your way out. But in this situation, I'm going to start with the left-hand piece, just to show you the process of doing it. Each situation is going to be slightly different. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide this piece in under the shingles and under the valley. And take that nice and tight to the lip, slide it until it bumps up to the other side flashing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a mark here at the edge of this lip of this gutter, and then we're going to make a mark right where the point of our valley comes down. And then we're just going to cut from mark to mark. Like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slide that piece back in until that lines up with that lip there. Now that we have the left-hand side in, we're going to do the same process with the other one. We're going to take that right-hand side piece, slide it up underneath the valley until you butt up here and have it clipped into the lip of the gutter on this side. And you're gonna mark here, and you can see right through the tri-step because of the grading. So you're gonna mark here, which is where you can see where that is ending inside. Then you're gonna do the same mark up here. And for ease of purpose, you can also just follow and make a mark all the way down, because you can see the tri-step through the piece. Once we have that marked, then we'll slide it back out, cut along our line just like we did last time. And slide it back in. Now this piece is going to overlap the lip on that piece until you got a nice tight 45. You're going to secure it down like you did before, starting at your ends, and then one tight to the corner here to hold it in place. Now that we've completed it inside, I'm going to show you how to do an outside corner. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to start with the left-hand side. So we're going to bring it in, and you can't go underneath the shingle because of the ridge cap. So you got to go on top of it. You're going to bring it and slide it all in until it butts up against here. And we're going to mark pretty much the top of this ridge. You should be able to see through it, like I said before, to be able to see where the peak is here. So we're going to mark it right here. And all we're going to do is cut from this line all the way through to this point. Now we can slide it in underneath the shingle until it butts up against here. Just like last time, we're going to take our other piece, slide it, but this time we're just going to butt up against it. And being able to see through the tri-step, we can make our mark and our longer line all the way down. And once it's cut, we'll slide it in. Don't need to leave the spacing, and screw it down just like we did the other pieces. So now that we're at the end of the gutter run, I'm going to show you how to complete your tri-step gutter system. Now that we're at the end of the gutter, what we're going to do is we're going to flex this piece just a little bit so we get that bottom tab in, top tab over. So we can get our spacing here, same gap as before. We're going to come to our end cap, and we're going to cut one rib inside of it. So knowing that that's the rib that's right inside of it, I take it and cut it straight down. Now that we have it to length, we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to cut that back tab down to that live edge. Bend that all the way in. Activate the live edge. Slide the piece in. Tabs back under now. Keeping your spacing, and it leaves you that gap that we had on the other side. And then now we're going to secure it to the gutter. And same screw placement as last time. On the end. Skip one and fill it. Now you don't have to worry about being tight to here, because once you actually put your end cap on, it's going to hold the end down for you. Put that screw in first. Securing it down to the gutter and giving it one more up top to prevent it from twisting. Now that we've shown you all the steps to installing the tri-step gutter cover system, starting from putting in your first piece, installing an end cap, your spacing and screw placement throughout the middle of the system, finishing off the section and doing your inside and outside corners, you should now have the skills that you need to install it.